Welcome back to Parker, Arizona, and coverage of round one of the APBA National Watercross Tour on a bright sunny afternoon in southwest Arizona. As we're along the Colorado River, we come back to more of Moto number 2 for pro runabout. Dustin Farthing, a 16-time overall world champion, continues to pace the field on the heels of finishing 8th back in Moto number 1, so a very disappointing finish for himself. And back there in 5th place right now after a collision to start this moto, Craig Warner, the defending champion, told us about having the bullseye on his back for 2009.
You know what, actually, the way it changed me is I work harder now because it's so great. It's an honor to be number 1 in the world, so I want to keep that forever. So I'm going to do whatever I can as long as it takes and step up everything that I've been doing, do more and more and more. And
you know, Ian, he's got a lot of pressure on him. You know, 2 world championships, and he's going to be gunning for his 3rd one this year. You know, all eyes are on him, and everybody's going to be gunning for him. They want to go out, they want to beat the world champion. And talking about beating a world champion, here's a former world champion that we caught up with earlier, Dustin Farthing, to talk about the level of competition out there.
Yeah, you know, those guys are all good riders. You know, it's anybody's day. You know, watercraft racing, unfortunately, is you know, depends on the day. Anybody can win. There's a lot of good guys and a lot of good skis. And, you know, unfortunately, World Finals is one day of racing. You know, really, I mean, you got a qualifier one day, you got a finals on another day. It's one day of racing. An overall champion is a national tour event, just like Supercross. You know, I mean, like Supercross tonight's coming down to the last race because it comes down to you got to be consistent over X amount of rounds. That's where a true champion shines.
So a chance to hear from a couple of great riders here in Pro Runabout, Dave, and you get the sense listening to Dustin Farthing. We've talked about him through the years. He's just unfazed. You can't phase him. He comes out here. He always gives his best effort. He's well prepared. His father, Phil, always puts a top-right machine together, and it's proven to pay off so far this afternoon.
Yeah, well, you know, his team has always been good. You know, he's a Kawasaki factory rider also, and you know, he's got top-notch stuff, as well as Warner. What really disappoints me now is not seeing Warner, Francis, and Farthing all dicing. And, of course, you know, McCluggage. I'd love to see him out there, but the equipment he's on right now is not as fast as these open boats. And, you know, he's getting on a faster boat. He's just out there getting some laps, and it'll be good to see. You can see Warner right now, Ian. He's trying to charge everything he can, but, you know, he's sitting back in that 5th spot. These, you know, the laps are dwindling down, and there's just not enough time to catch him.
And we watched Dustin Farthing put another lap on the books as he'll be going for his 17th world title later this year, and he's playing catch-up on Craig Warner. But you figure pride's going to come into play for Craig Warner. How many times have we seen him in the past lap the entire field? And you know, Dustin Farthing's kind of using him as a gauge right now to see how fast he can go, because Craig Warner now back at a full head of steam after knocking that boat in the water. But you know, pride's going to come into play. He does not want Dustin Farthing to get past him.
Well, yeah, you know, and he comes up if he tries to get him. I don't think Dustin's going to catch him. You know, there was nothing wrong with this boat. He just got ejected. So, you know, Craig's going to be riding like a madman or a man possessed out there. But, you know, if anybody could catch a Farthing, I wouldn't put it past him. Because Farthing, even though if he's leading the race by a lap ahead, he doesn't back off. He doesn't know give up or die.
Eric Francis back there in that 2nd spot. He finished 2nd in the points last year, and he still feels he has something to prove.
Well, I mean, you can't be forgotten until you do something great. So, I mean, I haven't quite done something great in the pro class yet. We finished number 2 was great. Had a lot of great riders ride against last year. You know, this year I really want to prove myself because the best of the best are actually going to run almost the entire tour. So it's going to really give me a chance to prove myself as a pro rider.
So Eric Francis, humble by nature, Dave. Last year, you may recall, he led up until round number 9. Down in Orange Beach, Alabama. He had been battling Dustin Farthing all season long, trying to hold him off in the points chase, but he just couldn't hold Dustin Farthing off for the entire season. Farthing went on a 14-moto consecutive winning streak, capped off a national title here on the APBA Tour. But still, nonetheless, looking at Eric Francis, we called him the most improved rider last year. Yeah. He certainly doesn't lack for aggressive riding skills.
Oh, you know, Ian, I agree, you know, 100%. You know, Francis has a lot of potential there. His equipment's a lot faster than it was, and we're getting a good shot right now of, looks like Ian Tosca going by in that number 4. You know, Ian Tosca, former national points champion, and it's just really heartbreaking to see him slip back a little bit because, you know, when he puts it together, Tim Judge is building his motors and boats, really made some fast equipment.
So Farthing going by one more time. Eric Francis back there in 2nd place. Arminio Iantosca from Naples, Florida, back there in 3rd place. So almost identical results of that of Moto number 1. You throw out Dustin Farthing, the 8th place finish. He's now leading. And Warner winning the opening Moto, now back in 5th place. But Francis finished up 2nd in Moto 1. And then Iantosca, 3rd place in Moto number 2. So you figure those two are battling for an overall here in round number 1. And right now, if it should stay the same way on the race course, Eric Francis would be your round 1 champion by way of having 2 second-place finishes, Dave.
Well, Ian, they always say consistency wins the race or the battle, and that's true. You have to stay on your boat, but more importantly, your boat's got to stay together, and that's what it is. You got to have the good mechanics. And you can see right there, Justin Farthing taking that checkered flag and another win.
So Farthing back to the winner's circle after an 8th place finish in Moto 1, and you can see Eric Francis, his Kawasaki, powers him to a 2nd place finish here in Moto number 2. So a pair of 2nd place finishes, that's good enough for a round 1 overall victory here from Parker, Arizona. Let's now hear from our round 1 champion. Talk about getting the 2 pairs of seconds and taking the overall here for round 1. This gives you the points lead heading into round 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I mean, I came in leading actually I didn't come in lead. I worked my way to the lead last year, so it's nice to start this year in the lead. Good confidence booster, give me some confidence going into round 2.
Well, that'll do it for round 1 of the APBA National Watercross Tour. So on behalf of Dave Arnold, our entire crew, I'm Ian Howard saying so long. We'll see you right back here for round 2 next time on the water.